High School Hoops Talk with the Talking Heads. I'm your boy E. Tally with.
I'm Richard DeLeon, and we've got a special guest from Eagle Pass.
Hey, how you guys doing? My name is David Chisum, head coach here in Eagle Pass. Glad to be with you guys.
Well, first, let me just say thank you, Coach, for giving us his time through your day. I don't know if it's freezing down there where you're at, but I know it's cold as crap over here where we're at. So this cold front is killing me. So I'm glad to be indoors. But again, I thank you for giving us this time. Can you real quick just tell the audience about yourself, your 2 year stint there at Eagle Pass as the head coach?
Um, my name is David Chisum. I work here at Eagle Pass High School. I'm actually a baseball player, but I played basketball in high school, but I actually played professional baseball. So I'm a baseball coach also. But I took this job and changed the culture around here.
I want to just kind of preface how we met and everything. You played a very tough opponent here in your first round of the boys basketball tournament. You got the draw of the Judson Rockets, played them to a overtime play where it was a 1 point game, and you guys had a chance in that 1 point game. So I got to talking to you, and I found out through your crowd, through some of your parents, that you guys haven't made the playoffs within 30 plus years. And I just thought that was the way you guys competed. I think this not just the city of San Antonio, but the fact that you're one of our schools that fall in the San Antonio playoff system, that we had to get you on.
No, thanks for inviting me. These guys earned it. Like I said, this is my second year. Last year we were in a play-in game, and we lost in overtime. But this year, I knew we had everybody coming back. I got 9 seniors. It's going to be pretty tough next year, but so I knew this was a year to do it. We got a lot of good players. They finally believed in the coaching staff. Because this is only our second year of the whole staff. But they also believed in themselves.
Right.
And our goal was to win district. It wasn't because we knew what we were up against, and we knew they had the team. Yeah, I knew that Laredo Alexander. They got a kid that's 6'8", two guys that's 6'4", and we don't have that. But I knew it was going to be pretty tough to beat them. But yeah, we made it. 31 years, community, everybody was going crazy, and the boys played well. I knew we were facing Judson. I went to go watch them a couple of weeks ago against Clemens, and we were playing the winner. And I knew that either one of them was going to be pretty tough. But like we were talking before, a lot of stuff happens in the first 4 minutes of the game, you know. And I knew if we could hang the first 4 minutes, it was going to go down to the end.
The good news you talked about, you had to do it this year. The good news is there's research that shows when a new coaching staff comes in, it takes 2 to 3 years to instill your culture and your way of doing things. So one could argue that it's not, I mean, you haven't even finished instilling your culture. So a lot of bright times ahead, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think our freshman group is pretty talented. Our eighth grade group coming up, we got a lot of height in that eighth grade group. So, but it's hard to we're gonna build a culture, but I think we're gonna rebuild after this year because we had 9 seniors,
Right.
and most of them played all the time. They've been playing together, since they were little. I don't know if they played travel ball, but they're a tight group, and they're gonna be missed for sure, you
Yes.
know. Um, but maybe in a couple of years and years after that, hopefully we're consistently in it, you know.
So real quick, Coach, with this win, or excuse me, with this attempt to win your first game there in the playoffs and get making to the playoffs, what do you think this does for your community in reference? Because you guys had a lot of people in the stands, man. For you guys to travel as far as you traveled to go to Hondo, man, you had a lot of people there. So So it lets me know what you did. But again, I would like you to share with the audience what did this do for your community there?
Well, we're the I mean the community. I know they always back us, right? But like 31 years, probably nobody even remembers. I do remember because I think I was an eighth grader, or no, maybe a little bit more, but I remember those teams. The teams that made it. Um, but the community is always backing us up. Anything positively, they're always behind us. Our school board, of course, and our administration, which was all there. Our high school administration was all at the game. Um, they always back us up, you know. But of course, the parents, because it's a big thing when you haven't gone in 31 years, you know. Um, and it would have been crazy if we would have just won that game. I
Right.
think it would have shocked San Antonio.
You would have. You would
Not
have.
only ourselves but San Antonio.
You would have. You would have. Go ahead,
That's
Rick.
what that's the beauty of sports, though.
Yeah,
It's those games, those stories that make sports beautiful, and so that's perfect. And I know y'all finished fourth in your district with a 6
yes.
record, so it was I'm sure it was real tight. It was tight for y'all to get there, but what were the keys for you to turn things around and earn that playoff spot for this season? What were some of the keys for that?
These kids, we played a lot of tough teams in our tournaments, and we won against a lot of tough teams, especially at our cornerstone tournament. There was some teams from Houston that came down, that were kids 6'8", 6'7", two or three of them on the court at the same time. When I have a kid that's 6'2" and a half, 6'3", and that's the only one. But of course, I know that that kid that I had, Santiago Garza, he's one of the best players in all South Texas. He can shoot, he can dribble, he can jump, he plays defense, he does everything, you know. And he's our man in the middle, and he's our point guard. You know what I'm saying? I could use him anywhere because he's really, really talented. So all those games helped us out, you know. So when we played Judson, we had already played teams like that, you know. So I just compared them to that. Of course, when we went to see them, it also helped. My assistant coach Ricky Reese and myself, we went to see him play Clemens, so we got a feel of how we were going to play them, and the kids understood, and it worked. You know, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if Judson has a hard time against the Valley team next week
Yes.
or Friday night.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see the film and they're going to play them like that.
Yep. You're
So
gonna
so
get it.
so playing 6'2" and a half, playing in the post and playing point guard, that's almost like a Magic Johnson role from his rookie year in the finals.
Yeah, yeah. But what I liked is that they never went to a zone.
They didn't.
You know, that would have kind of helped them because I was trying to bring the big guy out. You know,
Mhm.
and he doesn't want to come out. He wants to be in the middle the whole time. So it kind of made it easy on us a little bit.
Right.
Easier, right? I mean, it's not
Right.
easy anyway.
Right.
Um, and it worked. And
Yeah.
like I said earlier, the first 4 minutes of the game will dictate a lot of the way the game's going to be.
It's true.
And they punched us in the face the first 4 minutes, and we were punching back. So I thought, you know what, we're in it. You know,
So Coach was saying that as far as that atmosphere, when I walked in, I got there a little late. So I got there at halftime, and you guys were down. I think it was 27-21, I believe. You guys down like 6 points, 6 or 7 points, if I'm correct, at halftime. So with the atmosphere being what it is, what did you tell your guys to get them to play up to that moment to understand we get past 4 minutes, uh, and we do what we gotta do, we'll be able to make the difference and make sure we continue to take whatever they give us after that 4 minutes. What's your
well,
speech?
I
What's
think
what do you tell them?
I think I even called a timeout without having to call a timeout, you know, just to tell him, just to remind him we passed those 4 minutes. we're just like them. Yeah, they might be bigger, but we're just like them, and we're moving on. And that was it. I just wanted to remind them. Um, and I think at halftime it was 27-24. We were just one shot away, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I know our mindset was totally different at halftime than their mindset, because ours was very, very positive, and I know theirs was like, what's going on right now, you know? And when you're playing good teams that's supposed to beat you really bad, that mindset is sometimes they say, well, it's because we're playing down to their level. But no, it was not that. It was that we were playing up to their level, you know, and we're shot for shot, you know, all year. And it happened in this game all year. My motto was, you know what? Turnovers, we got to minimize them, and we got to make our free throws. And I always tell my boys, when you're on the court, if you're gonna watch the game when you're on the court, you're gonna watch it sitting next to me. You're not gonna watch it when you're on the court, because a lot of kids, they see somebody and they just watch, instead of going to help. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
So I
Exactly.
always, you know what, I'm gonna help you, and if they pass it to my man, you help me. We're gonna help each other. So, but if you're gonna watch, you're gonna sit next to me and you're gonna watch it. You know.
Right.
So, and they believe in each other. And I know the basketball, in 3 seconds, everything switches from one side to the other. It's like your mindset you got to be calm, collective. Sometimes I know I lose it, but I know I have a limit. You know what I mean? I still,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes I got to catch myself and tell myself, hey, you need to chill out, man. You know?
That happens. That
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Well, you know, if you want to walk us through that final few minutes of regulation and into overtime, what adjustments did you make to try to secure that win against the Judson teams, who's like you said is the favorite and they're a tough team? So, what if you can walk us through that?
Well, like I mentioned a little earlier, and I tell my boys all the time, when 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 you're winning, it's really easy to shoot the ball. You know, when the game is on the line and it's tight, everybody starts passing the ball because they don't want to be the one that shot and missed.
Right.
You know, or when you're behind 2 points, they don't want to be the one that, well, why'd you shoot it? And if you missed, yeah, if you make it, everybody's like, yeah, all right, yeah, but nobody really wants to shoot those shots. You know, and at the end, I tell them, if you're open, shoot it. I never tell my boys not to shoot it. I never take them out because they shot and missed. Yeah, if they take a bad shot, maybe, right? Um, Turnovers, laziness on the court, you're coming out. But missed shots, no, I never take them out. I never tell them don't shoot it. If you're
Right.
open, shoot it. And I always, everyone I put on the court can shoot it. I'll let them shoot it. I don't care. Never tell them that. But laziness, watching the game, you're going to be sitting next to me. You know, and at the end, um, I think the mindset was, like I said, at halftime anyway. In their locker room, they didn't know what the hell was going on. In our locker room, we were going forward. We were still going to go move. We got to move forward, because they were in a hole, because they thought they were going to run over us. I know they did. You see the film. My guy, the tallest one is 6'3". We got a little guy that's like 5'6", guarding those other guys, those point guards that were really, really good. I knew that it was gonna be tough, but we can shoot the ball, man. These guys can shoot the ball. And when they go in and they go in and they go in, they're like, Leeway, and they're playing the tough defense. They were playing really, really good defense, man.
Right.
And so that leads to my next question. Santiago Garza is one of your star players. He didn't have a huge scoring night. He scored 8 points, if I'm correct, from the official book, what I looked at. But you had Mr. Garcia, who scored 18 points. I don't know if you knew that part. I'm sure you did. And Mr. Ramos, who scored 15. You had those guys having great nights. But what was the critical, or how critical was Mr. Santiago Garza's performance to help force that game in overtime, which he made the last shot, by the way, and I got that on video for you. And as we run this video, I'm gonna make sure I post that with it.
Well, we know heading into every game, because I tell my coaching staff, if we were playing against us, how do you stop us? And we say, well, you know what? We're not going to let that guy score. That's what we're going to do. That's what we tell ourselves. So we kind of plan the game like that, most of them. So when they came out and I saw that one guy going wherever he went, and so it wasn't a boxing one because it was man to man, but he was on him the whole time. Right away, we started. I wanted whoever their big guy had to help pick, so Santiago could be with a big guy because he doesn't want to come out. I wanted to
Yeah,
mix the matchups up somehow, and it worked. It started working to where they wouldn't switch, and we had a lot of layups because they didn't want to switch. Because that guy that was guarding Santiago was just wanted to stay with him the whole time. You know,
yeah, yeah,
but hey, Santi, he is a hell of a defensive player. You know,
yes,
our game plan all the time was we go man to man. Santi gets the worst player on the court. We always
right,
know who's not going to shoot. If he gets it, let him shoot. You know,
yeah,
it doesn't matter everybody goes man. You get the worst one, and you're helping everybody else.
right,
You drive by, you're going to see Santi. Another guy drives by, you see Santi. Santi's guy is always open.
right.
You know, because I use him as a helper all the time. You know,
Good move.
um, and it always worked. And the
It
guy
did.
blocks shots, he gets rebounds. He might have got out rebounded, but that kid is 6'7",
Yeah,
and
Ivan
he can
Doran.
jump out of the gym. You know what I mean? He has a hell of a talent, that kid. But I'll put Santi with anybody. The kid can play, man. It also helps all the other players, you know, know that they have help because they got Santi right behind them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
But
Yep. It did.
offensively, everything feeds off of Santi. You know,
Okay.
and we know that. Everybody knows that. But we sometimes we use him as a decoy. Because
Yeah.
and I tell the boys, man, you got to make shots. Santi can't score 50 points every game. You know, we got to score.
Facts.
We got to score. So picking and rolling, they never want to leave him alone. That's why we had lots of layups that game. You know, yeah, their big boy blocked a few shots here and there, but that's part of the game, man. We can't do nothing about it. They're
Yeah.
good too. They're good,
They are.
and we can't take nothing away from that.
Yep. Two teams are playing,
Yeah, yeah,
at a high level too.
yeah.
On the defensive end, how are you able to slow down the Judson's top scorer, Elijah Favela?
Was
And
he number one? He was number one, right?
Yes, sir.
yes,
Because I didn't even know names, man. I go by the numbers, man. I saw him against Clemens, and that kid could shoot the lights out.
right.
Yep. You talking about Elijah?
Like,
Yes, sir.
like our game plan was like, you know what? Our number one, which is Dan Ortiz, he's a cross country runner. So he comes from cross country, and we go full court and we do our workouts. And that kid, we get water breaks. That kid doesn't even go get water. You know, like he can run and run and run and run. So we always put him on their best player,
Mhm.
and we get him tired. You get tired of seeing that kid.
Right.
Yeah.
He's on your butt since you cross half court. And I tell him, hey, Lee, stay back, stay, and he doesn't because he doesn't get tired. He wants it, you know. And I think that's what happened. He got winded.
Right.
Number one, got winded.
Right.
Moving around on offense, he got winded, and then he guarded our smallest boy, who's our 3-point shooter that was running all over the place. And I saw him on one of the possessions where we switched, the ball went out of bounds. He had his hand on his knees, and I told my coach, "That kid's done, man.
Yeah.
He's tired." And he started switching to another player, to another player. I thought, no, this kid is done. And he got tired. He really did. The only thing was that their number 0
10.
shot the lights out, you know?
Yeah.
10. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Jalen.
Yeah, he shot the lights out. And against
Yeah.
Clemens, he didn't do much. It was number 1.
It was 0.
You know?
No, it was 0. You're right. It was
It's
Jalen.
0,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
0. Yeah,
You
you're right. I'm
know, he
sorry.
had a great game. That kid had a great game.
Yeah, he was the matter of fact, he was our player of the game that day. I interviewed him afterwards. And yeah.
Yeah, I was like, where did this guy come from? You know,
Yeah.
we don't see him much, right?
Correct.
You know,
Right.
Correct.
so I just saw the Clemens game.
So
Right.
it seemed like the pressure defense, your pressure defense, seemed to give them fits. Was that something you knew going into the game, or is that something that you kind of game planned, or was that just your players having a lot of energy and wanting to because that kind of defense is a mindset.
Well, look, in our district, everybody does that
Yeah.
to each other, you know. And if you get pressured the way they did, they'll do it the whole game.
Right.
You know, we didn't do it the whole game because really I have 6 guys that could play like that, you know, at that level. And to do that the whole game, then you get tired, you know.
Right.
And I know they probably had 4 or 5 guys coming off the bench, and my bench is not like their bench, you know. We're a little limited, right? So I couldn't do it the whole game. But when the game got tight, we started doing it when we needed to, and it helped us. You know, it kept us in the game and more.
Right.
I think they had like 6 in a row where they didn't even score. 6 times they got the ball, they didn't even score. And I think what happened also was they were getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
Not just freaking out with everybody going crazy, but they were also getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our style of basketball in Laredo is different from San Antonio, and I noticed it when I saw them play against Clemens because they play the same. They're both the same. Like that's a toss-up game. You just don't know who's going to win that game.
Right.
I believe Clemens won the first time, and then Judson won the next time.
Correct.
You
That
know,
is
they
what happened.
exactly play the same. It's just whoever makes a couple more shots at the end. That's what it is, really. They don't do that full court pressure. You know, they're more half court guys because they're bigger. They use those big guys to pick and roll, and you know they have a real good half court game. So it's two different styles of basketball, and it affected them. It really did. You know, they were lost. I couldn't believe that they were so lost myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I thought, you know what, I should have done this earlier. You know, but you know, they're very athletic. You know, they get 1 pass, 2 pass, it's a dunk on the other side, you know.
Right.
Or my big guy gets in foul trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then again, you know, those long passes that my big guy was stealing, you know,
Mhm.
I coached defensive backs in football in varsity. I wanted him to be my safety. You know, because he's athletic, he's big, he's 6'3", and so he's like a safety out there. But I didn't want to pressure him into playing football because I think he has a little future in basketball.
Right.
Yes, he does. He's very, very athletic, and he can handle the basketball too, by the way.
Yeah.
Saw that firsthand several times. So yeah. Coach, second year head coach. I know you're super proud of what you guys went through this year, and finally ending your drought. But what message do you give to your community right now? an Eagle Pass, let them know would they have something positive to look forward to, not just the culture that you're setting forward and you're putting your foundation down and we seeing what can happen if we follow and do what's right. Give us a message real quick to the community.
It's I mean, not gonna say that we put basketball on the map, right? Because we're a
Right.
baseball town. Don't forget that. A baseball, we've been to state like 4 years in baseball in our, um, but just to show that we can compete, I guess that we want to be competitive. We don't want to get run over like in the past years. Um, and that's really what it is. I mean, of course, we care about the kids, um, but we want to be competitive, and hopefully the whole game. Not the first quarter, not the second. At the end, it because it builds. When you're competitive, it's not easy to be at the end of the game when the game is tied or you're down one. And that's every time we had 7 overtime games this year. So every overtime, I told the boys I wouldn't change this for the world. If they told me we were gonna with let's start the game with 30 seconds and you're tied, let's go. I'd say let's go, let's do it. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do that with the boys all the time. And we had 7 overtime games, including this playoff game. Um, that's how competitive our district was.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
um, and it builds character, man, for the boys when you're in tight situations.
Right.
It
Life.
does.
It
Life.
does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess segue into that. What do you think the biggest lesson your team will take from this hard fought playoff game, win or lose, that will help propel the program forward in the future?
I would say, you know, believing in a new culture and believing in your coaches. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because these boys and being competitive.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few games this year where we got beat because I saw that we weren't playing we weren't playing with heart. We weren't playing like it was a fight, you know. And I don't mean like literally fight, but you know what? We're gonna fight back. You know what I mean? We're not gonna get run over by anybody. If you beat us, you're gonna beat us because you beat us, not because we laid down or we're not fighting back or we're not playing with heart. You know, um, and they did that and they believed it. And I hope all our youngsters, our freshman group and our JV group, they saw that. And I got 7 guys coming back, who maybe played a little bit here and there in the game, so they know what they're up against. Um, and they're gonna know what they're up against when we start our off season because all our other guys are not there. You know, now it's their turn. But like I always explain to them, you know what? We put you in the game. Give us a reason to leave you in the game. Don't give us a reason to take you out. Give us a reason to leave you in. 2 turnovers. Well, you're gonna come sit next to me, and you can't say why. You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like I mentioned earlier. It's not because you missed a shot. Because I don't care because we got to shoot. It's because you're either lazy or you're watching the game or you're turning the ball over. You're gonna come sit next to me. And this you cannot have 4 guys going 100 miles an hour on the court and they pass it to the fifth guy's guy and he's not even close to him.
Right.
You know, so that's what I'm trying to teach these guys.
So you kind of answered a little bit earlier also. Looking ahead, how do you plan to build your program as far as, off of this win and then just the younger kids? You said you got a good group you got 2 groups coming in. So what's the little foundation plan or not foundation? You already said that already. What's the plan forward to make sure, and it sounds like you're starting off season a little early now. What are we looking forward to?
Well, you know, we played a lot of good teams, that don't have a lot of height, and they do things right. They don't turn the ball over. They don't make many mistakes. They help each other. We got to be one of those teams, and I gotta have, and it looks like I'm gonna have like 10 to 15 guys that play the same. Of course, I'm not
Hmm.
gonna have Santiago Garza, right? But I want to have like 10 to 15 guys that play the same, where I could take five out, put five in, and
Hmm.
they're the same level. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't really
Right.
have that this year. I had five guys.
Right.
And then two with platoon here and there, three with platoon. But when you play those good teams that don't make mistakes, they don't turn the ball over, yeah, they miss shots, but they do everything right. They don't get
Right.
pressured, they handle the ball well. We're just gonna have to do everything really, really, really well. So that's where we're gonna start. That's gonna be like another culture for these kids because we don't have the guys that we have. You know,
Right.
it's gonna be tough. I mean, we're gonna go through some growing pains next year, but hopefully, you know, they learn from these guys. The senior group was very tight. They work together. They push each other. Um, they're always, they always want to be on the court, no matter what. Let's
Right.
practice Saturday. Let's do this. Let's do that. Come on, coach. Let's do it. We that Santiago Garza, if he can sleep in the gym, he'll sleep in it. I mean, he's one of those kids, man. Never wants to come off the court. But yeah, all these younger guys learn from these guys, and we're gonna build that culture where we're gonna try our best, no mistakes, going 100 miles an hour the whole time, and it's gonna be a rebuilding year. We know that. I think our kids know that.
Right.
You know, but hopefully we're gonna play with a lot of heart, man. The way you guys
Okay.
saw, well, the way you saw there at the end, it
Yes,
was
sir.
going crazy.
They
It's
were.
fun. Like I was telling some of the people, I got calls all over the place. So
Yeah.
um, I couldn't see our fans because they were behind us, but I saw their fans, and they were just sitting there they were quiet.
Yes.
And I enjoy that. When and I enjoy watching the other coaches going crazy when they don't know what's
Yes.
going on. You know,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You had that. You had that. Everybody was telling you, man, that stand was like you had me and I'm telling you, when I watched that last shot that Garza took, he was driving left, got a screen, came off that screen and shot that basketball to send y'all in overtime. I was like, holy, I did not see that. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was game was over. You know how guys take that last shot and they miss. And it's like,
yeah,
no, that gave y'all life. That
it,
was the crazy part about it. It gave you more life to where though, I know you only played what I think it was like 4 minutes, but that 4 minutes was like it gave you life to play four more. And I was like, oh
yeah,
my goodness. And then you went back and forth. Like you took the lead, they took the lead. And it wasn't like they just took the lead and just, ran over you guys in overtime. No, it was a back and forth game. And it was like, again, it was a story. It was one of those story endings, like, oh man, somebody gotta lose, unfortunately. That was the bad
Well,
part.
I think there was 20 seconds left when we called timeout. Um, and I said, hey man, everybody, anybody can shoot the ball here. Just make it a good
Hmm.
shot.
Right, right.
Don't take a forcible shot. Where your man's on your face. Of
Yeah.
course, of course, Santi can, right? I mean, that's the guy.
He did it.
I always tell him. Uh, shoot it from anywhere. I don't care. I think last year he scored I think 48 points in one of the tournaments in Seguin
Oh
at
man.
in the second half, and we were losing. I think we were playing San Antonio. I told him anytime you get the ball, just turn around and shoot because it was one of those games that everything was going in. Everything was going in. I told him I don't care. You just shoot it because everything was going in. But I
You
always
know
tell
that
the boys, you know what? this guy's driving. They're going to double team him. Everybody have your hands up, ready to shoot the ball. It
That
didn't
was the
work like
Matador
that.
tournament, wasn't it?
Excuse me?
When at the Seguin Matador tournament that you guys
Yes,
played
it
in? Yeah,
was.
I remember that game. I remember that
Yes.
game. I do. Yes, yes, sir. I was
Yeah.
there last year for that. Yes. Yes, he had a
Um,
phenomenal game. I remember that.
yeah. Um, so there in the last 20 seconds, going back to that, like I said earlier, I don't care who shoots the ball. Of course, I always want Santi to shoot it, right? But I know he's getting double teamed all the time. So I said if he gets it, he drives. They're gonna help. So whoever's man helps, get ready to shoot because anybody can shoot it. Fortunately, he got it at the end, 1-on-1, and he just jumped and shot it, and it went in. Everybody went crazy. Um, it's like we won, that
Exactly.
game,
Yes. Yes. It
but
gave you life.
of course, you got to be patient, right? As a coach, I got everybody off the court, and I said, "Hey, man, our season's not over yet. Here we go.
Exactly.
We're
Exactly.
still in it."
Still in it. Still
You
in
know,
it.
and actually, at that time, it looked like they lost the game.
Yes.
You know, it really did. I saw him walking
Yes.
off the court. Like I was looking at their coaching staff, and I told my boys, "We got him right where we want him. It's over, man. We're in it." It's like we wanted to play, and they didn't want to play anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. But the thing was, they punched and you kept punching back.
yeah,
And that was the thing that caught them off guard, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just a lot of kudos and credit to both teams because just even talking about that, some teams just folded up after that, and
yeah. No, I knew they weren't.
yeah,
You know, but they knew they were at what they were up against. You know what I mean? Even after the third quarter, they knew what they were up
yeah.
against. Um they thought, you know what, man, these guys can play, man.
I'm sure I'm sure if you didn't have their respect prior to the game, you've got their respect now. For sure.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, um, we didn't agree on everything. Me and Coach Cantu. He wanted to play Monday. I wanted to play Tuesday. He wanted to play in Hondo. I wanted to play in Eagle Pass. You know,
Mhm.
I lost every damn flip, even to the ball. We used the ball they had to use. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
lost every damn flip, and we almost won the game. That was the most important one, right?
yeah,
But the reason I wanted to play at home was because it's never happened.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
So,
That makes
and then
sense.
everybody has us to lose probably by 20, 25,
I had you
So I said,
15, coach, by the way. 15.
okay.
15. I had you 15.
So I thought, you know what? If we go lose in Judson, no big deal. We're supposed to lose anyway.
Correct.
So why not have a home game,
That's the way to look at it.
for the community?
right.
But I lost that flip also. You know what I mean? I lost. But it's all right, But hey, that's a good basketball team. I knew we
Yeah,
were up against.
Right.
yeah. Well, I know a lot of we like to do something on this show because a lot of people are only exposed to the coaches at games when you're in the heat of the battle and stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us something fun about yourself that that people might not know about you.
Man, I don't, may not know about me or maybe not know that I can still do is I still run fives with my boys, man. You know, I'm
You still in it, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 54 and I'm
Okay.
still running. And so is my assistant. We play fives with our boys, full
Wow.
court. When we practice, we're in there. So they believe us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm blocking them out. I'm pushing them around. I pick and roll. I do all the dirty stuff. So when I teach it, they believe it,
Right.
and they learn like, oh, this is how you do it. Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
not just showing them, cutting to the basket. I do it. You know what I mean? I pass it when they cut. And I stop it right there and explain that's why you do that,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's why you don't do that, you
Right.
know. And it took us 2 years, um, for them to start believing.
Right. And
Of
and you played baseball professionally, you said?
Yes, sir.
Can you
I
still
was
hit a fastball and a curveball? To
sure.
Yeah.
That's I can't run like I used to, but I could probably hit like I used to. But I can't run like I used to. That's for sure. But yeah, I played in the minor leagues with the Cleveland Indians
Okay.
for 3 years, and I played pro baseball in Mexico City for a year.
Wow. Okay.
Um, yeah, I lived in Mexico
Gives
City for a year, so it was nice. I had a good run, man. I went to Laredo Junior College, played baseball, got drafted. I was All American center fielder. Got drafted my first year. I didn't sign. Um, I was All American my second year out of Laredo Junior College, and then I signed. I had a full ride to the Miami Hurricanes or Oklahoma State.
Wow.
I signed with Oklahoma State, but of course, Cleveland came out with the amount of money I wanted, so I went that way.
Wow.
I really wanted to go to Oklahoma State. I went to a baseball camp right out of high school with Coach Mendoza, who coaches our baseball, head coach baseball. He played with the Florida
wow.
Marlins himself. So right out of high school, we went to Oklahoma State that summer to a
Wow.
baseball camp. So when they offered me 2 years later, uh, Miami offered me first, so I said yes, right?
Mhm.
Um, but then when Oklahoma saw Miami offered, they try to beat the punch to another one. Um, so I said, you know what? I'm going to Oklahoma State. I had already signed with Oklahoma also,
Right.
but I ended up signing with the Cleveland Indians, and I went that route.
Right.
Um, but I
So
played
it's no
basketball is
surprise,
my favorite sport, though.
but it's no surprise Eagle Pass is good at baseball because they got heavy hitters as coaches over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We not just us two. Our whole coaching staff
Right.
is full of college players, college ex players. We also have another guy named Luis Flores from Del Rio who played with Houston Astros.
Wow.
So, and he drives down here every day, you
Wow.
know,
Mm.
and he played with the Astros, also played in the Mexican League like I did. He's younger though. So our coaching staff is full of college players and pro players.
But you're a hooper too. What I notice about that is baseball players can hoop, but basketball players can't play baseball.
No, yeah, it's a little bit different, man. But man, basketball is my favorite sport, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
because one guy can make a big difference.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
In my days, I was a point guard, and those no look passes and all those passes, and running and gunning, and that was my favorite part of the game.
Right.
But I played in 87, 88, 89. We were in the North Side District with the Cash Brothers and all
Yeah.
those big guys. You couldn't
Yeah.
play with those guys, man. It was pretty tough to play those guys.
I graduated from Holmes, but I graduated in 1993. So I
Yeah.
just missed the Cash Brothers and Johnny Walker and all those.
Yeah, well, I saw Johnny Walker on the baseball field, man. That guy could play. And what's his name? O'Brien, Bobby O'Brien.
Mhm.
I remember all those guys, man. I played with Bobby O'Brien my second year in Laredo Junior College.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know how he ended up there, but I remember him, man. He was a good pitcher, a good hitter. Johnny Walker, of course, he was something
Right.
else on the field, man.
Yeah.
And the Cash Brothers, I remember playing against them in basketball. I'm like, holy cow, these guys are big, man. They were what, 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
They went to the NFL, played tight end for two
Yeah.
different teams. I mean, those are experiences that you can only talk about.
Right. Exactly.
Facts. Facts.
Exactly.
Well, look, Coach, we're gonna wrap it up. I got one more thing for you. We call it rapid fire. I ask you a series of questions. You just pick which one you like. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a foodie. So it's gonna be some food questions. So disregard those. Okay. Don't judge me. All right. All right. It's a two-part wing question. Buffalo hot wings or any flavor?
Any flavor.
Got flats or drums?
Drums.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Iced tea or lemonade?
Iced tea.
Texas or Texas A&M?
Yeah, those are my colors, man. I got to go with Texas. Yeah, we're orange and white.
All right. Cowboys or the Texans?
God, man, I got to go with the Texans, man.
All right. All right. I like it. I love it. Dr. Pepper or root beer?
Dr. Pepper,
Big Red or Fanta? Any flavor?
Fanta.
All right.
I'm on
Last,
the border,
last,
man. I'm on the border.
two more, two more. Pizza or cheeseburgers?
Pizza,
And then tacos or burritos?
tacos, man. Can't go.
There
I'm on
you
the
go.
border, man.
Yes, sir.
But we
Yes,
can
sir.
say
I
either
get
one of
you.
those, right? But,
And you can't go wrong, right?
I'm a taco guy, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Them,
with you.
them
I'm with
fajita
you.
tacos, man. You can't get better
Can't
than
go
down
wrong.
here,
That's the
man.
best meat ever right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You get me hungry. Hey,
Yeah.
Coach, again, thank you for giving us this time, this opportunity to share, your insight. And, again, I know it wasn't on terms of you winning the game, but still being a good sport and coming on and just sharing your coaching philosophy is just awesome, man. And I promise you, I look forward to what you got coming up there in the pipeline. And I love for you to come on next season around August, right before the season kickoff, and just come on and just talk with us again.
August is football, man. Yeah. Yeah.
You're telling me no right now, right?
We're
That's what you're
talking
trying to tell me.
October. We're talking October, man. Hey,
I'm
you know
booking you
what,
for
man?
October
You
then.
got my number, right?
Yes.
I love to help anytime,
I
anybody.
appreciate it. I
You
appreciate
know.
it, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Um,
anytime you guys are in San Antonio, let me know.
yeah, yeah.
I
We'll
love to
be
go
there.
have adult beverage with you if you do partake. And hey,
Sure.
man, just let me know, okay?
I'm all about
You
that, man.
you you,
Anytime.
co- you coach baseball too?
Yes, sir. Hey, yesterday I finished Monday basketball. Yesterday I was on the diamond already.
So are y'all playing up? Are y'all playing in San Antonio in the schedule?
Um, actually, I think next week we're in a tournament up there. But this
Uh,
week,
send, send us the schedule. Maybe we'll head out there and support you guys.
okay,
Yeah,
I sure will. And
because
you can meet all the coaches, man. They're
I would
all,
love to. That'd be
yeah,
cool.
we all go. So I'll introduce you to the coaching staff, and they're all ex-pro or ex-college players somewhere. You know.
All right. That's awesome.
Um,
yes, sir.
yeah,
Well, hey, this
I'll text you where we're gonna be at, and
okay.
maybe y'all can make your way out there. I love to meet you guys.
Definitely.
Well, I
Yes, sir.
met
Definitely,
you.
coach.
You know.
We love to come. We love to be out there. As long as it's not a wind chill like it is today
Oh
or
yeah, I
yesterday,
know that,
okay?
man.
I ain't doing that,
We're
man. I don't do
we're
outside
heading to the
sports for
Border
nothing.
Olympics tomorrow. I mean Thursday.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Okay.
told my coach. First day of practice yesterday. It was about 90 degrees yesterday. I told him I don't like this. I want to be inside. I want to practice inside. You know, like basketball.
Like, I was about to say, basketball got you spoiled, coach.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
know.
happened. The last 4 months got you spoiled, man.
Nah, but it's all good, man. I got my sunglasses on and I got my bottle of sunblock, man. We're
There you
in.
go. That's it.
We're in.
That's it. But again, I appreciate it again, coach. Thank you again, my man.
Oh, thanks a lot, guys. And you got my number if y'all need anything down here.
Yes,
okay.
sir. You got it.
Nice to meet you, Richard. We'll see you
Yes,
guys.
sir. Yes, sir. I'll be down in
Sign off,
Kickapoo.
coach.
I'll call you when I go to Kickapoo.
Yeah, call me, man. Hey, bring him along if you haven't been there, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm taking you up on that one,
I'm
coach.
telling you, man.
For real.
It's a good time. You'll love it, man.
I'm taking you up on it. I
It's a really
promise.
nice place, dude.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.